Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the Starship Opportunity. Our scientific mission is straightforward. Examine the space around, monitor the surface of, and perhaps lead a team into the anomaly at Sector A98. Tune in to hear John Garlick run the adventure with Jay Duguay, John Kennedy, Justin Wiggy, myself, and a host of special guests joining us at the table. Galactic adventures begin just after this music.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Gaming with Scott. I'm here with Jade.
Hey.
I'm here with Justin.
What up?
I'm here with John.
In this corner, weighing 285 pounds, it's John Kennedy.
Why? And I'm here with our game master, John Garlick.
It's been a long road.
Oh, getting from here
from
to
there
there.
to here.
Here to there.
I'm going to need you to get down. You're
Long
making me
time.
nervous up there.
My
All right.
is
It's
finally
been a
here.
long road.
All right, so
John
Thank you.
Garlick started this.
Everybody you for
singing.
thank you for tuning in. So, when last we left off, you
And
guys had
thank you for
accessed
sticking around.
the memories of Bomber.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I want to run the memory back. Run the memory back to when the Klingons, attacked the ship.
Okay.
Were the weapons? Can you zoom in on it? Do you have details on the Klingon weapons?
Only
the batlefts,
what
the
Bomber
knives.
saw.
Right.
And he does at some point get shot with a disruptor. It evaporates his arm. Aw.
How about when he gets hit with the batleth? The family crest on the blades of the weapons. Do any of them roll back to House Kang? Is this Kang's ship, the Expeditionary Force, the reinforcement that went through that we drank with?
No, because that guy.
Thank goodness.
That guy left because the head popped out of the of Site A98 as his ship entered.
Okay. All right. I was a little foggy on that, but I was like, these aren't like Kang's guys,
No.
are they?
His name was Captain Chan.
Oh, Chon. That's right. I'm thinking
Chon
from 6.
Yeah, different guy.
Okay.
The-
Chon.
Captain Chan.
Okay,
And the
this is none of his
Tarash.
men, right?
Not him. He was
Thank
not
goodness.
there.
Not
This
his
happened.
house. Okay, good.
This happened before he was even in the mouth.
Okay.
This was like, and also the date stamp on that was a couple, like a few weeks ago.
Okay. All right. Good. Whew. I was like worried.
Different
Okay.
guy.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, you're still good with Captain Chan.
Right. All right. Good. All
I
right.
can tell you why they would have turned on us, though.
Moving on.
Moving on, like you do. Okay. Good. I got the details that I needed.
Bullying. All right. So anyway, okay. So you guys, 2 ships come up. One is the Wuhan, which is an Akira class cruiser. Currently,
You said it was an Excelsior.
there's also the
USS Akira?
Copenhagen.
Nice.
Is an Excelsior.
All right.
So it is. So
So both of them are Excelsior class, the Copenhagen and the Akira.
the Wuhan is an Akira class ship.
Okay.
It is the current. Yes.
It's these ships are coming to where we are currently at?
Yes.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
No, they're
they're-
coming out of the thing. They're coming out of the anomaly. No,
no,
I'm just
no.
kidding. I'm just
Not
poking
yet.
at her.
You're going to come out of the anomaly. Oh.
The Wuhan.
You're an anomaly.
The Wuhan and the Copenhagen show up, and they are bringing your guy, Commander Maddox.
Oh yeah.
Now, it's been more than 15 years since
The incident.
He tried to enslave
to-
an entire race of sentient beings. Yes, I'm with you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and he learned his lesson. Of course, he also, has had like lore to study all that time. So
Yeah. Well.
But anyway, you guys are being hailed by the Wuhan.
On screen.
All right. You see that there is a beleaguered looking young woman of Andorian species. She's got the antennas and has sort of like a little pixie cut for her.
Are they
her
droopy?
hairdo. She looks a little bit beleaguered as she says, "Oh, Captain Turnweather, I have a guest for you." And she gestures over to this gentleman who looks like a slightly older version of these androids you've been seeing running around, except not a creepy mannequin.
Nice.
He's wearing, he's a commander, and he's wearing Science Division blues. And he says, yes, Captain Turnweather, I understand that there has been a discovery made at Site A98. That there was one of my androids was partially recovered.
It was.
Well, I would very much like to get a copy of its memory banks to be committed into.
I would love to invite you on board.
Absolutely.
I will have my chief science officer, Commander Sass, give you the tour and help you retrieve everything that you'd like.
Okay. He says, would it be acceptable if I brought along some of my androids?
How many?
Okay, telepathy.
Yeah, I'm like, no.
You get an impression from the not exactly disgust, but sort of like please from the Andorian, where you get the impression that she would be happy to get these things off of her ship.
How many did you need to bring on board?
Well, I've got Tom, Dick, and Harry, and Ho,
just
Fat, and Choi.
Just a number would be fine.
Oh, well, 6? Would 6 be acceptable?
What's his what's going on in his head?
He is thinking about doing all kinds of, he probably doesn't need all of these androids, but he wants to bring them along because he is teaching them essentially while they're following him around. He could probably be fine with 3.
Sure, that would be fine. I addressed the ensign or whoever it was the thing. How many androids are on your ship currently?
He says, I have the captain of the Wuhan says currently we have a contingent of 9.
Why don't you bring them all aboard? Maddox, why don't you bring them all aboard?
Suits me, says the captain.
Excellent.
He's like,
She's like, yep.
but some of them are plugged in. And she says, over and out, thank you, bye, click. She's you get the strong impression where she sort of like wiggles an antenna as if to say, I owe you one.
Nice.
John, while we're getting ready to receive Maddox, I make a backup file to give to Maddox personally, but I'm also saving a copy of these memories onto the Medbase private server.
Okay, that's fine.
And putting it under my encryption so that only medical staff can get access to it.
Okay.
I don't know. It's just I don't trust Maddox
to not walk off with it all?
Yeah, and I'm waiting for Maddox to pull one of those, I'm head of, development of androids. I want all the files.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
and you can't keep any regardless of how they might or might not help you.
Do I have any info on what he may do with that kind of information?
This guy, you know that he is. You've read his file because you're prepared,
right?
And you know that this guy is like a very direct thinker. He is straight lines from what he wants to what he wants to what he wants. Has very little concern with anything that doesn't relate to his android making project.
Okay, that's fair.
Basically, he is kind of.
He's not sneaky. He's very direct.
Right.
He's very direct.
He's not a fan of the sneaky.
Now, if there was something, if there were something that directly related to all of these androids, and he needed something from
Right.
you, then he would probably the claws would come out. But based on what you're seeing, you don't think so. But
Okay.
you never know. He is kind of a creep.
While he's on, I'm gonna try to keep a connection going to his surface thoughts.
Oh, okay.
While he's on board.
All right.
That way if
This
he
will
tries to do
involve
something.
mostly like being in line of sight of him. But
Okay.
That's
fine.
something you can do.
So you're just going to creeper stalk him? Like he goes to the next room and you just kind of go in and, I'm just looking at the crown molding.
Why not? Well, I'll act as security if you want and just escort him around.
That's fine. That's fine.
He is
by
a
me.
visiting commander. He might appreciate having a personal liaison.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine by me.
Okay. I'll keep an eye on him when he's walking around. Make sure he doesn't.
I with Tassas unplug Bomber,
Oh, okay.
and I don't want to put him in a bag. Just
He's in sort of a case.
Record,
yeah.
Is there a-
record do it right?
Yeah. To Sass, is there anything you need from this Maddox person?
I don't believe so. I think we have everything we need.
Fukuda says, well, the only thing that I can think of is, he's responsible for these crazy, these robots apparently can kill people. I don't seem to recall that being in the general description.
oh, they were really good at killing.
Yeah,
Yes.
I thought that was a violation of one of the
Things.
prime directives of robots. I thought they weren't allowed to do that.
Also, did they have built-in weaponry?
They were carrying weapons.
Okay.
They were using phaser type 2s.
Yeah.
I mean, is this just the Maddox class combat android? Is that what this is supposed to be here?
That's in my purview.
I can look into it.
I could identify how the thing runs. I can't really do much more than beyond that.
Well, but I thought androids weren't allowed to kill. I mean, I thought robots aren't allowed to harm people. Isn't that Asimov is still required reading at the academy?
But
Can
an
I run a
android
computer
is,
search?
An android is more advanced. An android is a living, thinking thing.
Which would be more advanced would be like it should know the rules, right?
Well,
you're
unlike
gonna-
the combat sentry drones that the Federation uses,
We're gonna call
these
this,
are taught to reason. Which
We're going to
means
call
that
this
just like you, Captain.
insight plus science.
Just like you, Captain, I could say, do not put out that fire. But if that fire starts to move towards a child and is going to hurt the child, you would reason, no, in this one circumstance, I can stop the fire or I could save the child. These androids are attempting to become human. And while they're not as advanced as Commander Data, oh, John, in your timeline, is he back or is he still dead?
Currently, his programming. Oh, he's been dead for less than a year.
Okay.
So B4 is still his programming is still
B4.
fractally, reawakening. But I mean, hey, we've all seen Search for Spock. Come on.
Come on now.
Yeah.
We all know
So
how that
I mean,
works.
Data is
He comes back.
yeah.
yeah. Spoilers.
Oh, sorry.
No,
Well,
that's
I mean,
okay.
Ballers.
But yeah, right now he is defragmenting a little bit from the from whatever was wrong with B4.
From being data
Okay.
for so long.
Yeah, and so the memories are still being reconstructed.
Okay. So yeah, no, these androids, they can kill. I suppose we can ask them not to, and as part of their programming, we could reason with them to not kill, but eventually there is the risk that they will overcome their programming.
So you bring up information, and you see that these androids were detailed to. There were 12 of them. They were detailed to the USS Fahrenheit, which is an Intrepid class ship, same as Voyager. And they were basically sort of like it was sort of a test. They were part of the crew, but they were also, enhanced functioning, learning their roles and running around doing stuff. But you are fairly confident that no, they were not supposed to be combat units. They were supposed to help fly the ship or work the computer core or do other stuff. This is not in the brochure.
Okay, I report that to you. This is information that I got on the computer search. So
Okay, then I definitely want you to stay with Maddox, and I want you to meet him at the pad when he beams over, and bring him up to the bridge.
okay.
To Sass. Are you already on the bridge to Sass?
Sure, why not? You can
yeah.
be wherever you want.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, if you're not on the bridge, to Sass, Thieves, please come to the bridge to meet Maddox. Actually, come to the ready room.
Okay.
All right.
Ready room.
All right. So the dude beams on with a large contingent of his androids.
What do they look like, by the way?
They all look like basically they are all wearing a black jumpsuit. I mean, each one is wearing a black jumpsuit.
Can we do a before he gets here moment?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
I want to send that information over to the first officer who was the intelligence officer.
Oh, okay, yes.
I'm gonna send that information to her.
Hakuna Matata.
And then she can do whatever she wants with it.
She's like,
so.
you see that the wheels start turning and she files that away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she,
Before.
okay. The guy beams over. In a way not entirely dissimilar to how all the Sung class androids look like Nooney and Sung. The Maddox class androids look like, I think his name was Bruce Maddox, the Commander Maddox. They basically look like a mannequin of a pale-skinned white guy with thick eyebrows, dark hair, wearing a jumpsuit. The skin is sort of this kind of creepy, rubbery texture. They look like a moving mannequin. It is rather discomforting to see.
Uncanny Valley all the way.
Although deep in the Uncanny Valley, like the ranch dressing they make in Uncanny Valley, it smells of this.
Wow.
So yeah, but yeah, you see that the gentleman himself, he is, they look like him a good 20 years ago, or however long it was. It's 20. So yeah, I'd say about it's been about 15 years since Making of a Man, and because that was like 4th season, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it's now 2381. So, yeah, you guys. But you see, they are all sort of like a copy of him, and they are all of these androids are carrying like various heavy equipment, computer pads, different knickknacks, and the as you guys gather up in the main transporter room, he beams in with all of these creepy mannequins. He imperiously, walks up, and
I'm waiting in my ready room.
Okay.
It's all him.
Yeah.
He imperiously walks up and says, "Oh, how do you do? I'm Commander Maddox," and he snaps his finger, and his androids sort of fall in behind him, like a mother duck leading its young.
Welcome, Commander Maddox, the USS Opportunity. I am Commander Rennan, and I'll be happy to take you to the captain, who's waiting in his ready room for you.
Ah, thank you, sir.
Surface thoughts?
Surface thoughts. He is, okay. His emotional investment in these androids, is tied up in his professional life, but it's not like he doesn't think of them as his children. They are still gear, but this is, but at the same time, it is also his life's work.
Right.
But he doesn't think of them as
Not like Soong did.
Yeah, not like Soong did with Data and Lore.
Right.
These are his equipment, and he has built them up over a long period of time. He is but it's like his prized pumpkin or something.
Right.
It's it's not like his kids.
Right. Okay.
But he is very eager to see, the head and how and find out. Well, even more than that, he wants to know what's happened with the other 11 that have been off in the who knows where.
Okay.
Because this up until now, he was worried that they were lost forever, and he would never get to know how that proving ground experiment worked.
Okay. Fair enough.
These thoughts are going through his head as you stroll up. He's got all of these androids at his heels. They're sort of like looking around. The androids are obviously taking in everything around them. You don't get any emotional readings from them or thoughts per se. They are statues to you.
Right. Can he read like from Maddox, like if he has instructed the androids to look for anything specific?
He is very specifically thinking about how he has instructed the androids to follow him around and watch everything he does. And he's like, every now and again, one of them will start to sort of stray or, start to like look at a panel for too long and fall out of formation. And he will say, he will address it by name. And they all have like designations, basically. Tom, Dick, and Harry, Ho, Fat, and Choi, which are, sort of like similar names, but in Chinese.
Right.
And the three others, which are, but they're all
He's being
which
very
are
one-dimensional.
Alpha, Charlie, and Bravo are the last three. So they all have a designation, but it's not really a name. Mm-hmm. But you get the impression that he's, they're at the core of all of this, just beneath his, his surface thoughts is a desire to see them become fully self-aware.
Right. Okay. Take him up to the ready room. I ask. I'm gonna go ahead and ask him. Because the ready room is so much smaller. Maybe only bring in maybe 1 or 2 or 3 of the androids instead of all of them.
He thinks that this hasn't even occurred to him that he can't bring his entire basketball team with him. And he says, yes. He tells 8 of them to go in the corner.
Kind of like telling a handyman he can bring the hammer, but the screwdriver, the pliers, the ruler, and everything else has to stay home.
Well, he basically wasn't
or at least
even
in the other room.
Yeah. He wasn't even really thinking that this is a crowd of dudes. He wasn't. He was thinking in terms of programming.
I think that shows a lot about how he still views synthetic life.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, they are these. But at the same time, he's not being a dick about it. It is true that they aren't self-aware, as far as you can tell from his understanding of them.
But the ready room is smaller than every other room.
But okay, so the layout of the bridge on the Enterprise, where this is just like that. You guys come up the,
Turbo
lifts, and it's a little cramped with all of these extra guys. But basically he snaps his fingers, and all of these androids, except for one, tromp off into the corner, and basically in 2 rows, they're almost perfectly square, shoulder to shoulder, facing the corner, like cordwood, and they just sort of sit there, neck kind of off to the side of the view screen, out of the way, facing the wall. And you see that all of the people on the bridge are sort of like watching this bizarre spectacle. As the doors open, you can see. Well, your ready room door chimes.
Are Tassas and Thebes already in my ready room?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. They're on their way up the turbo lifts and coming in, and et cetera. What do you think of? Have you ever talked to Maddox?
Not personally, but I've read his work.
What do you think of it?
I think that while it is brilliant, I think that it is still far behind Soong's work, and I think that he is spending far too much time trying to imitate him and succeed him when he should just try to catch up.
Tassas, have you any opinions on Maddox?
I tend to agree with the doctor. It's a bit eerie how he treats them.
What do you mean?
They are too much of an extension of him versus a project.
Do we need to worry about this guy?
What we can worry about and what we can actually do, I think, are two separate things. But, Captain, I've already placed his...
Don't tell me.
Very well.
Do you think we have to worry about him?
I don't know that he has malicious intent, but I think he is focused on himself more than a greater good.
Do I hear all this going on? Because we're outside the doors as before.
The door is nicely
then the bell.
soundproofed.
Then the bell rings.
Yeah, the door is soundproofed.
Doctor.
No, I meant
We can do
Line of sight.
line of
yeah.
sight. Okay.
Doctor. We can do a lot more than you think. Come in.
The door slides open, revealing Mr. Rennan and a young Maddox and an old Maddox. One of the young Maddox is fake.
I gesture them into the room.
The android does not move until Commander Maddox actually tells him to. It's like, oh, that means come in.
I
Remember that.
I put my
He sort
finger,
of taps him on the forehead.
I put my finger on the button that's going to hold the door open so that when they pull in, it doesn't automatically and close.
Sure.
I then look at Mr. Maddox. I look at Rennan, and I go, and the next words out of my mouth are, "Red alert! Security to Captain's ready room."
All right. So
What do the eight against the wall do?
they remain completely stationary.
Okay. What does Maddox and the robot that's in here, or android in here? What do they do?
You see that the android that was following him. Actually, let's roll some programming.
Kind of wonder what Thebes and Tassas are going to do, because
Right?
what's going on?
The android clamps down. You see it clamps down two vice-like hands, one on each arm, and moves to shield its creator. However, it's using a little too much strength and seems to have squeezed him really hard. He goes, ah! There is two uniformed officers from over by the turbo lift immediately run up and are with
Phasers out. In other words, what does my security do?
Protocol. It's your
Oh
protocol.
yeah, the phasers are out,
Okay.
and they look around. They look and are looking for a threat, but it seems like the android is sort of hugging the creator and moves him off to the side. He's standing over by your ceremonial trill robes now.
Security, place Mr. Maddox under arrest.
You see that they one of of your security men clamps one beefy hand over Maddox's shoulder. And the robot does not release him.
Okay.
He says, he's hurting me. You see the security guy pulls his hand back and it says, "Not you, you idiot."
I'm gonna like 1001, 1002. I want to see how this plays out.
Okay. You see that Maddox is bleeding from where the robot has dug its fingers into his biceps.
Captain.
And you see that the security are looking in askance of like, what do they do next? It's they're because the guy is sort of you see that he's too close to shoot. You see one of the security guys steps up and says, "Unhand that man right now." At which point the android
Just drops him.
There's actually a flick of human blood as his hands pop open. The scientist stumbles away.
Doctor?
I rush over to him and would it be okay? So I'm wearing my coat because I imagine my guy would wear his coat a lot. Would I have like my basic medical tricorder on me?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so like I pull it out even though I'm pretty sure I know what it is, and I'm like, Commander Maddox, do I need to roll to see what it is? I'm pretty sure it's a flesh wound, but do I need to roll?
Yeah, he is.
It's just a flesh wound.
Basically, he has like a flesh wound. It looks like there's not any permanent nerve damage or anything like that, but it was, he was squeezed pretty good. He's going to have bad bruises, and it did break the skin and dig into his muscle tissue.
It's just a flesh wound, Captain.
Is the guard number one says, "Is he still under arrest, sir?"
What is Maddox doing?
Maddox seems to be confused by the whole ordeal.
He's not the only one.
It says, "What's happening?" He says he's never done that before.
Commander Maddox, who cleared you to bring weapons onto my ship?
Weapons? I didn't bring any weapons.
Well, there you sit injured.
Says he says, "This is outrageous."
It is. Your own weapons turned on you, and now you're going to tell me I didn't clear you to bring weapons onto my ship.
Says, "But Captain, this is he was acting to protect me. This is not a weapon of war. He's Fat is just a service android. He's not programmed to kill."
Yes, and since he's not a weapon of war, you've only got what? What'd you say, Doctor? A couple of surface wounds, a couple of scratches. Those androids that were on the ship that went into the anomaly, yes, those androids were probably overreacting too.
He says, "What are you talking about?"
I'm talking about the other 8 weapons along with the one you have standing behind you that just injured you that are now on my ship. Your androids kill?
Genuine shock.
And they kill effectively.
Is it genuine? Is it genuine?
Yeah,
shock?
I'm like,
Yes.
is it
No,
genuine shock?
I mean, that is like his face is like, huh?
Like you don't need telepathy for this?
But it's telepathically genuine, like shock and horror. He is very upset about this revelation. He says, I don't understand. What are you saying?"
Look at your arms, Doctor.
He says,
That was under when you were not even under threat of death.
He says, this is emergent behavior. He's never seen me under threat of any kind before.
Computer, cancel red alert. I look at security 1 and 2 and go, thanks. That's all I need. He's not under arrest. I was trying to prove a point.
Yes, sir. They fuck off.
And
They F off.
I let the button go and the door.
All right.
Doc, can you patch him up enough that we can continue a conversation?
Yes. I'll just
Anesthetic spray and some.
I get a dermal regenerator. Mm-hmm. The magical device of Starfleet Medical.
The little glowy salt shaker.
Don't mind me.
You see that there's still an android with bloody hands standing off to the side. He looks just he's sort of like looking at him. He assumes a pose similar to the mannequin that your Trill ceremonial robe is on, which
that's creepy.
it's pretty creepy.
I'm gonna walk over and like get inches off of its face. Do I get any sense of telepathic? I mean, is it anything? I look at one mannequin and back to the one with my robes, and then back to this thing. Are they any different?
Give me a. I'm going to say this is an insight roll because this is a very fine-tuned use of your telepathy.
All right.
Insight plus command seems appropriate because you're used to seeing into the hearts of men.
Okay. I'm at
Or
13,
robots.
and I wanna spend one to get another.
Okay.
Or robot.
Roll your
So
3 dice.
I'm shooting at target of 13.
Oh, that's
A 7, a 5, and a 9.
okay.
So the 5 is equal. I'm
Group dynamics.
and I'm using.
Or-
I have team dynamics, I have telepathy, and I have psionic studies.
I'm gonna
any
say-
of which might be applicable.
Well, okay. So that is a total of 4 hits then, because your command is, makes that 5 count as 2 hits.
Nice.
So you will get gain back that momentum that you just spend and
Thank you.
take that one.
Oh, do I get this one too?
Yes.
Nice.
All right. And so, but yeah, you are like there is the barest sort of glimmer of like reaction. This is like a not quite a bug's mind, but yeah, it's not quite a living thing, but not quite a, but there is sort of like a slow shimmer of something dawning there, but the ephemera of